हेलो एवरीवन, सेंट सोल्जर टाइम से मैं हूं कोमल। आज हम पहुंच चुके हैं सेंट सोल्जर लॉ कॉलेज में। यहां पर आज सेमिनार होगा एक्सटेंशन लेक्चर एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज का। आइए देखते हैं खास आज का ये सेमिनार।
I served as additional district judge for about 10 years, then district and session judge, then elevated to the High Court. And after retiring from the High Court, I joined as Chairman Police Complaints Authority, Chandigarh. And from there, I went to Armed Forces Tribunal as head of the department and judicial member. After completing my term there, I again joined as Chairman Police Complaints Authority and worked there till I think 2020. As of now, I am member of International Arbitration Center and I am also member of the Daily Lok Adalat in the High Court. So today's topic, as Dr. Sharma told you, is constitutional values. So first of all, we should understand what constitution is. What is constitution? ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਟ ਆਫ ਰੂਲਸ ਇੱਕ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। How to respect your elders, how to love your youngers, all these things. Similarly, coming to the college की एक सेटअप हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि एक डायरेक्टर होंगे, प्रिंसिपल होंगे, क्या प्रिंसिपल की ड्यूटीज होंगी, क्या डायरेक्टर की ड्यूटीज होंगी, कैसे क्लासेस लगेंगी, क्या कोर्सेज पढ़ाए जाएंगे। Similarly, coming to the institutions or companies, you can see on the screen that constitution is a set of rules usually written which define and regulate the structure and functioning of an organization, institution or a company. And coming to the state or nation, constitution denotes a set of rules, whether written or unwritten, established by the sovereign power. This is important. Established by the sovereign power of the state, not only for its own guidance, but also those likely to be governed thereby. It identifies, defines, and regulates various aspects of the state and structure, powers, and functions of major institutions under the three organs. What are the three organs of the state? Can any of the students tell? Three organs of the state. Yes?
It's legislative, executive and judiciary.
And judiciary, very good. So constitution decides what is the role of the judiciary, what is the role of the executive, what is the role of the legislature. And it also provides for rights, freedoms and duties of citizens and spells out the relationship between individual citizen and the state and the government. A constitution also lays down limits on the power of the government to avoid abuse of authority. So, I think you now understand what constitution is. Constitution is a book that prescribes various rules and regulations by which the state power is to be governed, relationship between the state and citizens are to be decided, and jurisdiction of the three organs of the state is determined. A constitution is the supreme and ultimate authority. Any decision or action which is not in accordance with it will be unconstitutional and unlawful. Put simply, a constitution is a set of fundamental rules that determine how a country or state is run. So, then we come to Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution. Do you know something about the setup of Indian state? It is characterized by stark inequalities perpetuated by exclusionary practices based on religion, caste, gender, and so many other things. I think you know that in India, all the religions of the world are present there in our country, all the religions. And you will be surprised that even the Muslim population of India is more than the total population of Pakistan. The exclusively Muslim country, but our population as far as Muslims are concerned is more than Pakistan's. We have Muslims, we have Parsis, we have Christians and many more. And languages. A number of languages are spoken. And cultures, different cultures. So, a constitution to deal with such a diversified society is a very, very difficult task. So therefore, our constitution not only robustly binds the country's diversity and distinct cultures, but also empowers and safeguards the rights and liberties of the citizens while maintaining an effective balance between various organs of the government. Doctrines laid in the constitution limit the concentration of power into the hands of a single governing body and keep a check on its misuse by authorities. It is an extraordinary document. It is our supreme law. It is the beacon light of our democracy. It has given us the basic legal and institutional framework. All wings of the state derive their powers from it. It has given us fundamental rights, outlined duties of citizens, directive principles of state policy, which must be kept in view while framing any legislation. Social and economic backward classes and other vulnerable sections of society look up to the Constitution for protection. It indeed acts like a protective umbrella for everyone. The Indian Constitution is both a legal and a social document. It provides a machinery for the governance of the country. It also contains the ideals expected by the nation. The political machinery created by the Constitution is a means to achieving of the ideals of the Constitution. You see on the screen what Indian Constitution contains. It defines all aspects of Indian political system, including its basic objectives. It reflects the expectations India's citizens have from the country's leaders. It can legitimately be said that our Constitution is the living and fundamental law of our great nation, which lays down the ideals the country should uphold. The form of governance contains the fundamental ideologies according to which the state is to be governed, provides the mechanisms for laws to be made, defines the jurisdiction, of three organs of the state, the executive, legislature and judiciary, to operate and regulate relations among us people in the society, among themselves, as well as between people and their representatives who govern them. It has provisions regarding territories that India will comprise, citizenship, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy and fundamental duties, structure and functioning of governments at union, state and local levels, and several other aspects of the political system. Preamble. The most important part of the Constitution, which can also be described as its mission statement, defines India. These are very important aspects of the Constitution. Defines India as sovereign, democratic republic that follows socialism and is secular in terms of religion. Now coming to the today's subject, constitutional values. If you are confronted with the question, what does the word value mean? Can anybody of you tell what you understand by the term value? Mr. Sharma just now told you. Yes? Anybody from the students? No.
So something which has importance.
Something?
Which has importance.
For example,
So like in the constitution we have fundamental rights which are the part of the basic structure.
values in general sense, not constitutional values.
So it means something which is very important for us to understand.
Anyway, values mean truth, integrity, morality, modesty, non-violence, peace, cooperation, honesty, respect, acceptance, empathy, consideration, fairness, love and affection towards other human beings, kindness, and many more such virtues. In a layman's understanding, value is that which is very essential or worth having or observing for existence of human society. Values are the virtues that guide us to take into account the human element when we interact with others. They serve as a guide for human behavior. They are the core values that make up our personality and define how we act in life. They are very important as they make up who we are and what guide us through life. Now coming to constitutional values. Law at its very foundation is conceived and derived from its level. These are about how those who are the subject of the exercise of power in civil society should be entitled to expect that the lawful exercise of power involves attributes or characteristics that recognize and reinforce human dignity and integrity, and that reflect the high trust that society has placed in those with public power to exercise it lawfully and for the common good. What do you understand by it? What is the main purpose of running a government? Can anyone tell? Why should we have a government? Yes? Systematic working of all the things and for the welfare of best part of the population. We call our government a welfare state. Welfare state means good of the maximum people of the country. And to achieve that, what is required? That we have policies which further this ideal of welfare of the people. Preamble to the Constitution. Preamble to any Constitution is a brief introductory statement that conveys the guiding principles of the document. Preamble to the Indian Constitution also does so. When you open a book, introduction of a book means what?
Object.
Yes?
The objective of the book.
Objective of preamble embodies the fundamental values and the philosophy on which the Constitution is based. And these are the values which I am going to talk in the next 30-40 minutes. You can see the preamble on the screen. Can anybody stand up and read the preamble from the screen? Yes?
People of India have solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all the citizens justice, liberty, justice, social, economic, and political liberty of expressions, beliefs, thoughts, expressions, beliefs, faith, and worship. Among them all,
Fraternity.
fraternity, ensuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation.
Yes. So, we find expression, belief, faith and worship as also equality of status and opportunity. It aims at securing a fraternity, dignity of the individual, and unity and integrity of the Indian state. So in brief, these are the values which our constitution professes and expects the state to work on those values. Makers of the constitution envisioned that political structure would weaken and disintegrate if socio-economic problems like abject poverty and gross inequalities were not tackled and removed. A vote, after all, does not mean much to starving person. It is in this context that the preamble speaks of justice, equality, liberty, dignity of the individual and fraternity. The values expressed in the preamble are expressed as objectives of the Constitution. These are, I will repeat, sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democracy, republican character of the Indian state, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, human dignity, and unity and integrity of the nation. In addition to them, our Constitution promotes respect for diversity and minority rights, accommodates regional and political assertions through federalism, and fosters international peace and cooperation. So let's try to understand what these values mean. The first is sovereignty. Can anyone tell what sovereignty means? Yes? No?
So India is free from internally as well as externally.
Head of the
Father? Sure. And if your younger brother of 5 years of age, he asks for something and your father has to surrender before his will, then who is sovereign? Yes? Yes. If we see the preamble, we start from we the people of India. We the people of India. So who is sovereign? Internally all powerful and externally free. It is free to determine for itself without any external interference, and nobody is there within to challenge its authority. This feature of sovereignty gives us the dignity of existence as a nation in the international community. Though the Constitution does not specify where the sovereign authority lies, but by mentioning the source of our Constitution as we the people of India, it announces to the world that the ultimate authority rests with the people of India. Preamble establishes the ultimate sovereignty of the people of India, on whose authority the Constitution rests. This means that the constitutional authorities and organs of government derive their power only from the people, and that the people of India are not subordinate to any external authority. At the same time, Article 51, capital A, small c, emphasizes that it shall be the duty of every citizen to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Article 51, capital A. Yes. Then it talks of socialism. What is socialism? Yes?
It's a belief that all people are equal.
All people are equal. Good. Socialism is a system in which every person in the community has an equal share in the production and distribution of resources. It creates equality in society and provides a sense of security. Constitution of India as originally framed, did not mention any particular ideology, yet it gives expression to the resolve of securing to the citizens economic justice and equality of opportunity, and this is the essence of socialism. The word socialist used in the preamble must be read in the context of the goals, articles 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, 23, 38, 39, 46, and all other cognate articles seek to establish. These are to reduce inequalities in income and status and to provide equality of opportunity and facilities. Social justice enjoins the court to uphold government's endeavor to remove economic inequalities, to provide decent standard of living to the poor, and to protect the interest of weaker sections of the society, so as to assimilate all the sections of the society in the secular, integrated, socialist Bharat with dignity of person and equality of status to all. It was so held by the Supreme Court in Samant versus State of Andhra Pradesh and others, AIR 1997, SCT 3297. When was the word socialist added to the Constitution? Yes?
Which amendment?
42nd Amendment. In the year 1976. Very good. However, the term is not defined in the Constitution. It means the absence of discrimination on the grounds only of caste, color, creed, sex, religion, place of birth or language. Under social equality, everyone has equal status and opportunities. Economic equality in this context means that the government will endeavor to make distribution of wealth more equal and provide a decent standard of living for all. Following provisions under the directive principles of state policy promote the value of socialism. The states shall in particular strive to minimize the inequalities in income and endeavor to eliminate inequalities in status, facilities and opportunities, not only among individuals but also among groups of people residing in different areas or engaged in different vocations. Article 38, Clause 2. The state shall in particular direct its policy towards securing that the citizens, men and women, equally have the right to an adequate means of livelihood, that the ownership and control of the material resources of the community are so distributed as best to serve the common good, that the operation of the economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment, and that there is equal pay or equal work for both men and women. Which is this article? Yes? Article 39. Next comes secularism. When secularism was introduced to the Constitution? Yes? 42nd Amendment. 42nd Amendment is known as a mini constitution. Many amendments were made to the Constitution. Again, the term socialism has not been defined in the Constitution. However, its operative meaning may be drawn from different provisions of the Constitution. The term secular denotes that there is no religion of the state, but the citizens are free to profess, practice and propagate any religion. State does not uphold any particular religion as a state religion, but protects all religions equally. Freedom of religion, however, is not absolute and can be regulated in the interest of public. It could not have been otherwise in a country of such vast size and diversity of culture and religions. Indeed, the fraternity and unity of the country could be built only on secular basis. Being a home to almost all major religions in the world, India can rightly be described as the world's most heterogeneous society. It is a country with a rich heritage. Several races have converged in this subcontinent. They have brought with them their own cultures, languages, religions and customs. For such a country, secularism is extremely important to maintain peace and harmony. Secularism is a political idea concerned with the best way to govern religiously pluralist societies like India. And what is next? Democracy. What does democracy mean? Yes?
Definition of democracy.
It's the government of the people by the people, and they are free to choose their representatives.
Yes. You just refer to the preamble of the Constitution. It starts by saying, we the people of India. Right? So, the entire definition of democracy is inherent in these words. This is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This is what Lincoln has said. Democracy is a form of government in which citizens have direct power to participate in the election and elect their representatives for forming a legislative body called a parliament. It basically means rule of the people. As a form of government, it derives its authority from the will of the people. In democracy, people govern themselves. That is the essence of democracy. And it was so held by the Supreme Court in a case Ministry of Information and Broadcasting versus Cricket Association of Bengal. And in another case, Monogram Mills, Supreme Court observed, democracy in political terms means the consent of the governed in the governance of the country. So again we come to the same thing, by the people, for the people, and of the people. India is a democracy. As a form of government, it derives its authority from the will of the people. The people elect the rulers of the country, and the latter remain accountable to the people. The people of India elect their governments at all levels, union, state and local, by a system of universal adult franchise. What is universal adult franchise? Yes. Popularly known as one man, one vote. Article 326. Every citizen has the right to vote without any discrimination based on creed, caste, religion, region and sex. Members are elected to Lok Sabha through a first past the post, that is simple majority general elections, held every 5 years. State representatives are indirectly elected to the Council of States called the Rajya Sabha. How do we elect members of Rajya Sabha? Yes? Yes? Anybody from the students? Members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by this after every 2 years. It is a continuous body. And Rajya Sabha is also known as upper house. Another name given to the Rajya Sabha, Council of States. Rajya Sabha represents the interests of the states and Lok Sabha represents the interests of the people. Lok Sabha is elected directly by the people and Rajya Sabha is elected indirectly by the people through their representatives. And if the Council of Ministers loses confidence of the Lok Sabha, what happens? Council of Ministers loses confidence of Lok Sabha. You must have heard that every now and then a vote of confidence is placed before the Lok Sabha. What is the meaning of that resolution? Yes?
वोट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस का मतलब क्या होता है?
Just now we read that the representatives of the people are accountable to the people. And if they lose the confidence of the representative body of the people, they have to go. The government has to resign to make way for the new government.
ये मेजॉरिटी होते साथ में नहीं होती तो गवर्नमेंट जाती.
Yes. Next comes the republic. What is the republic?
What is the republic?
Yes.
Raise of hands. What is the meaning of public?
Law students should be very inquisitive.
बोलो वो उठ के खड़े हो बोलो.
Head of the state is elected person.
Head of the state is elected person. Very good. So India is not only a democracy, but it is also a republic. Republic is a type of governance system in which the supreme sovereignty lies in the representatives of the people. The most important symbol of being republic is the office of the head of the state, that is the president, who is not selected on the basis of heredity, as is found in a system with monarchy. Rather is elected indirectly for a fixed term by the people's representatives, which Article 54. How do we elect the president?
By electoral college.
Yes?
Election of president.
Electoral college.
Election of president is held by a electoral college consisting of
Elected member of
आगे
legislature.
पास
elected members of the parliament and state legislatures. This value strengthens and substantiates democracy, where every citizen of India, barring some who are constitutionally disqualified after attaining a particular age, is equally eligible to be elected as the head of the state. Political equality is the chief message of this provision. All citizens are equal in law. There is no privileged class, and every citizen has the right to run for any public office, irrespective of caste, race, sex, or religion or place of birth. Any example of this equality? That anybody can run for the post of president? Any example in your mind? Yes? No. Who is the current president? Draupadi Murmu. Where does she come from? Yes? A scheduled tribe. Right? So what does it mean? That even a person from the lowest strata of the society can aspire to be and in fact becomes president of the country. That is the value of being republic. Next comes the most important value, that is justice. What does justice mean? Yes? You are law students.
खड़े हो गए.
You are going to be part of the justice system.
What is justice?
Justice finds its genesis. Yes?
Sir, it means fair treatment should be given to both the parties.
Yes. Justice finds its genesis in the Latin term justitia, which means righteousness or equity. Rendering justice or dispensation of justice therefore means doing what is right. In fact, the notion of justice is most commonly associated with an underlying assumption that justice equates to the concept of equal rights and equal opportunity to have access to and fair treatment in the legal system. A lawful society cannot exist without the presence of justice. Justice is a broad idea that affects nearly every area of human life. Idea of justice is synonymous with the idea of equal rights and opportunities and to get fair treatment. Justice means that each individual be treated fairly and given the same opportunities Justice refers to the fact that all Indian citizens should receive social, economic, and political justice. In the preamble of Indian Constitution, idea of justice is firmly established. Mentioning of justice in the preamble intends not only to create an environment in which social, economic, and political justice is assured, but also to work positively against any form of discrimination existing in the society based on caste, race, religion, sex, or place of birth. Our Constitution abolishes untouchability. Which article?
17.
Yes. Prohibits exploitation of the women, children, and the weak, and advocates for reservation to raise the standard of the people oppressed over ages. A very important feature of our Constitution, it is that the preamble uses the term we, our, and ourselves instead of they, them, or their. By doing so, it sends a clear message of inclusiveness. Besides emphasizing, it is not something that belongs to the nation, but instead it is something that belongs to the people who are citizens of the nation. Second, the Constitution puts the ideal of justice on the highest pedestal, above the other stated goals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. And third, social justice and economic justice are given precedence over political justice. Though the term justice is found only in few places in the entire Constitution, namely the preamble and Articles 38, 39A and 142, but idea of justice is vividly manifested in Articles 14, equality before law, 15, prohibition of discrimination based on caste, race, religion, sex or place of birth, 16, equality of opportunity in matters of public employment, and 17, abolition of untouchability. While Article 38 aims at promoting a social order in which social, economic and political justice shall inform all institutions of the nation, Article 39 talks of distributive justice, which means fair distribution of resources among those who are in need of them. Article 39A contains provisions relating to equal justice and free legal aid to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disabilities. Then we read three kinds of justice in the preamble. What are those? Social, economic and political. Yes, social justice. Social justice, which implies that discrimination based on birth, caste, race, sex or religion should cease, consists of diverse principles essential for the orderly growth and development of personality of every citizen. Aim of social justice is to attain substantial degree of social, economic and political equality, which is the legitimate expectation and constitutional goal. Objective of social justice is creating a fair and equal society in which each individual matters. Their rights are recognized and protected, and decisions are made in ways that are fair and honest. To that end, Constitution mandates the state to accord justice to all members of the society in all facets of human activity. Citizens should enjoy equal opportunities in the matter of public employment, Article 16. It is the good of all the people that the government must strive to achieve. Concept of welfare state, as envisaged in the directive principles, is an embodiment of guidelines for ensuring social justice enshrined in the preamble, Article 38. I have noted various judgments also dealing with the subject, but that will make the topic very lengthy, and I request Dr. Sharma to have a printout and circulate it amongst the students. Economic justice. Social and political justice pledged by the preamble of the Constitution to be secured to all citizens will remain a myth unless first economic justice is guaranteed to all. Liberty of thought and expression also lose their meaning in the face of economic deprivations. Economic justice means providing economic opportunity, economic equality, and removing economic disabilities. The goal of economic justice is to create opportunities for all to succeed, regardless of sex, age, race, disability, color, creed, place of origin, etc. Directive principles call upon the state to try and secure ownership and control over resources to subserve the common good, reduce the concentration of wealth, ensure equal pay for equal work, and see that people, especially women and children, are not abused or forced by economic want to work unsuitable for their age and strength. Article 39. Political justice. Political justice implies that all citizens should have an equal, free and fair opportunity to participate in the political opportunities and in the administration of the country without any discrimination on the basis of religion, race, class, creed, gender, place of birth or social standing. We just now referred to Draupadi Murmu, President of the country, who, in spite of being from very low strata of the society, has been able to reach the helm of affairs, being President of the country. Then, most important value, liberty. What is liberty? Yes? Liberty.
Freedom of thoughts.
Freedom of?
Thoughts and expression.
As simple as that.
Yes.
It is not that simple.
Like it is, in the broader terms, we can say liberty is like you are free to express yourself.
Yes. Liberty is derived from the Latin word liber, which means absence of restraints. And a common man, as we told, also thinks that liberty means absence of any restraint on human behavior, allowing him to act as he wills. Only in the morning I was listening to some discourse, and the man was referring to a car without brakes. Suppose a company offers you a car free of cost, very good car, but it has no brakes. How many of you would opt for it? No. Why? So that goes against the concept of liberty as stated by you.
Yesterday trained him.
Yes. In the words of a world-renowned jurist, McCain, freedom is not the absence of all restraints, rather the substitution of rational ones for the irrational ones. Liberty is limited by social canons and laws of the state. Liberty must be enjoyed within the restrictions outlined in the Constitution itself and does not mean permission to do as one wills. As is usually said, that your liberty ends where my nose begins. So you have to be reminded of those limits. Constitution itself does not mean, liberty without restraint would mean liberty won by one and lost by another. This was so said by the Supreme Court in Siddharam Satlingappa Mhatre versus State of Maharashtra. In a sense, liberty promised in the preamble of the fundamental rights is not absolute but is qualified. Democracy is closely connected with the idea of liberty. Certain basic rights must be enjoyed by every person in a community for a free and civilized existence. These basic rights are spelled out by the preamble as freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. These rights are guaranteed through the fundamental rights, which are capable of being enforced through court in case of violation. Article 19 talks of 6 fundamental rights available to the citizens of India, of course subject to certain restrictions. These include freedom of speech and expression, assembly, association, movement, residence and settlement, and profession, occupation, trade or business. Article 21 provides that no one shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. The term except according to the procedure established by law refers to the law enacted by the legislature, and the executive has no such right of depriving any person of his personal liberty. Further, the procedure has to be just, fair and reasonable, not fanciful, oppressive or arbitrary, as held by Supreme Court in Maneka Gandhi's case. What is Article 25?
Freedom of religion.
Freedom of?
Freedom of religion.
Yes, freedom of conscience and to practice and propagate any religion, but subject to public morality. Equality. Equality has been and is the single greatest craving of all human beings at all points of time. Rights have no meaning if they cannot be enjoyed equally by all members of the community. To ensure that it is possible for all to enjoy these rights, social and economic equality is sought to be achieved. Fundamental rights enjoin the state not to discriminate between citizen and citizen simply on the basis of caste, race, sex, religion or place of birth. Public places like shops, restaurants, hotels, cinema halls are open to all citizens, and there shall be no restriction with regard to the use of wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, playgrounds and places of public resorts maintained by the government or dedicated to the use of general public. State, however, is allowed to make special provisions for women and children and for socially and economically backward classes for their advancement. Article 15. Titles of honor and untouchability stand abolished. Rule of law is to prevail. All citizens are equal before the law and enjoy equal protection of laws of the land. Article 14. Constitution also assures equality of opportunities in matters of public employment and prevents the state from any sort of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, descent, place of birth, residence, or any of them. Article 16. Liberty, however, is reserved to the state to make special provisions for the backward classes, underrepresented states, SCs and STs, and economically weaker sections of the society. Again, Article 16. Political equality is provided by the principle of universal adult franchise, Article 326, and by allowing, at least in principle, every citizen the opportunity to participate in the process of governance. Same ability and work entitle persons to the same salary, and the exploitation of an individual or group is to be removed. Article 39. Fraternity. Fraternity refers to a sense of brotherhood, of togetherness among the citizens, and a sense of belonging. India, being a land of immense diversity, is all the more in need of the spirit of unity, the sense of belonging to one nation. Fraternity, according to Dr. Ambedkar, is the principle which gives unity and solidarity to social life. Principle of common citizenship is directed towards strengthening this sense of unity and integrity of the nation. Fraternity is also sought to be promoted by ensuring equal rights to all. It is the feeling that will protect the unity of India against external attack or disintegration through internal unrest born on social and political or economic causes. There is a commitment made in the preamble to promote fraternity that stands for the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India. And to achieve this, Article 17 abolishes untouchability and Article 51 capital A clause E enjoins every citizen to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities. Article 51A clause F further asks each citizen to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Then comes dignity of the individual. Fraternity is not possible unless dignity of each individual is preserved and respected. Maintaining this dignity requires the guarantee of certain minimal justiciable rights to each individual. To ensure that an individual is free from want and misery, without which freedom, ideas of self-respect and dignity are meaningless, the directive principles of state policy have been framed, calling upon the state to form its policies to benefit all citizens equally in the matter of providing adequate means of livelihood, Article 43, and to provide just and humane conditions of work and create conditions in which a decent standard of life and full enjoyment of leisure and social and cultural opportunities become possible for all citizens of our great nation, Article 42. It is in keeping with the principle of individual dignity that practice of untouchability has been abolished. Directive principles, Article 45, provide that the state shall provide free education for all children to the age of 6 years. And in December 2002, by the Constitution 86th Amendment Act 2002, education has been explicitly made a fundamental right for those between the ages of 6 and 14. Article 21, as we saw earlier, provides that no one shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. And our Supreme Court has expanded this right to a great extent, as we will see from the following discussion. Right to life means more than survival or animal existence. State of Maharashtra versus Chidambaram. It prohibits mutilation or destruction of any organ of the body, Khadak Singh versus State. It rather encompasses more than just the physical life and includes the right to live with dignity, Francis Corellin versus Union Territory Delhi. The right to basic necessities such as food, water, a decent environment, education, medical care and shelter, Chameli Singh versus State. Right to culture and protection of heritage, Ram Sharan versus Union of India. Not to be subjected to unfair conditions of labor, People's Union versus Union of India. Right to livelihood, Olga Tellis versus Bombay Corporation. Right to die with dignity, very important right. Anyone who knows about the judgment? Very famous judgment. Yes?
Gyanpur versus
Gyanpur. And two more judgments are there. One is Gyanpur, the other is Common Cause versus Union of India, and the third is Aruna Ramchandra Shenbag. Right to clean environment, MC Mehta. Right to privacy or right to be let alone, R. Rajgopal. Right to sleep, very important incident. Anybody knows about it? Ramlila Maidan incident, where Baba Ramdev had to flee by wearing the clothes of a woman. Right to emergency medical aid and a life meaningful, complete and worth living. Any mechanism used to revoke someone's right to life or liberty must be reasonable, fair and just. not capricious or fantastical. Rape and sexual harassment at workplace have been held to be violative of right to life. So this is how the dignity of the individual is maintained by the right to dignity of the individual and interpreted by the Supreme Court of India. Then comes unity and integrity of the nation. As I told you, India is a pluralistic country known for its diversity with a rich cultural heritage, several languages and different religious beliefs. Constitution of India and its preamble lay down unity and integrity of the nation as the major objective. It means that people living different faiths, religions, castes, creeds and cultures live together with love, care and with no conflicts to maintain independence of the country intact. Unity and integrity of the nation are very essential. National integrity is the feeling of oneness that people share despite differences in caste, creed, religion, etc. It keeps the country strong and aids in the development of the nation. Therefore, stress has been given on the ideal of fraternity, which would foster unity among the people of this country. And our Constitution expects all the citizens of India to uphold and protect the unity and integrity of India as a matter of duty, and to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Article 51, capital A, C and D. When was this objective of unity of nation changed into unity and integrity of the nation?
42nd Amendment.
Yes?
42nd Amendment.
42nd Amendment. So for most of the amendments you can just say 42nd Amendment. Yes. Then comes international peace and a just international order.
5180.
Value of international peace and a just international order, though not included in the preamble, is reflected in other provisions of the Constitution. Article 51 directs the state to promote international peace and security, maintain just and honorable relations between nations, foster respect for international law and treaty obligations, and encourage settlement of international disputes by arbitration. To uphold and observe these values is in the interest of India. Peace and just international order will definitely contribute to India's development. And in the present scenario, where the world is faced with a huge stockpile of nuclear arms capable of devastating the entire world several times, dangers of low and high intensity wars among us nations, cross-border terrorism, boundary disputes, ethnic disputes, economic and political problems, environmental degradation, pollution, problems of disputes based on religions, which affect the entire humanity, provisions of Article 51 act as a beacon and reflect an earnest desire for maintenance of world peace and security by avoiding conflicts and wars in the interest of entire human race. Last but not the least, rather most important, fundamental duties. Rights and duties are like two sides of a coin, absolutely inseparable. Whenever and wherever we have any rights, we must have corresponding duties. Whether it be the home, or the society, or the country, in every sphere of life, we have rights and duties that go hand in hand. We have rights in the same measure as we have duties. For every right, there is a corresponding duty. Rights flow only from duties well performed. Duty is an inalienable part of the rights, but is duty for one is another person's right. If everyone performs his or her duty, everybody's rights would be automatically protected. No democratic polity can even succeed where the citizens are not willing to be active participants in the process of the governance by assuming responsibilities and discharging their duties and coming forward to give their best to the country. When were these duties added to the Constitution?
42nd Amendment.
Yes,
42nd Amendment.
42nd Amendment. because necessity was felt for introduction of fundamental duties during the internal emergency of 1975 to 77, and a committee headed by Sardar Swaran Singh was constituted. And pursuant to the recommendations of that committee, Article 51A, inserted in our Constitution by 42nd Amendment, prescribed 10 duties to be performed by the citizens. But 86th Amendment Act 2002 later added the 11th fundamental duty, which imposed a duty on every parent or guardian to ensure that their child or ward was provided opportunities for education between the ages of 6 and 14 years. And as we have seen earlier, it has been made a fundamental right in the year 2002. Fundamental duties are of great importance because these reflect certain basic values like patriotism, nationalism, humanism, environmentalism, harmonious living, gender equality, scientific temper, and inquiry, and individual and collective excellence. If you want, I can read the duties also. So, we have seen that Constitution is a document which we, the people of India, gave unto ourselves. Thus it is a promise as well as an aspiration with all its goals and values. It unequivocally asserts that the people are supreme by enshrining the idea of republic. There are lofty principles such as justice, equality, liberty, fraternity, and dignity of the individual. More than ever, we need to safeguard these and other constitutional values: sovereignty, socialism, secularism, and democracy. So with this, we come to an end of the topic. If anybody from the students has any questions, he can just raise his hand and I will try to answer as far as possible for you.
Which means the state has no religion. So, if we see the present scenario, I don't think I should ask it or not. It seems that now the state has religion. I don't want to take the name of that. So, Supreme Court is considered as the protector of the Indian Constitution. So, what is your viewpoint? Can the judiciary do something in this regard?
Regarding secularism?
Yes.
Judiciary, I think, has been the very, very firm foundation for secularism, and while deciding matters, I think we never consider ourselves to be Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and
To all this affair, on the behalf of Saint Soldier Law College, sir, on the behalf of students, I, Justin Law, student of BA LLB, fourth semester, feels an immense pleasure to have you with us, sir. My heart fills with a lot of pleasure and respect for our guest, as you made us aware about the constitutional values. I also extend my thanks to our director, sir, and the staff members for the enormous cooperation with the organization of this event.
जया हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग, तब शुभ नामे जागे, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाए तब जय गाथा, जन गण मंगल दायक, जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे।
आज सेंट सोल्जर लॉ कॉलेज में एक्सटेंशन लेक्चर और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यू के बारे में बताया गया, जिसमें बच्चों ने बहुत ही समझदारी से काम लिया और साथ साथ में क्वेश्चन आंसर भी हुए। बहुत सारी बातों के साथ उन्होंने वेरवा बताया कि कैसे कैसे हम अपने फ्यूचर को ब्राइट कर सकते हैं और आगे जा सकते हैं। बने रहिए सेंट सोल्जर टाइम्स में। खास स्टोरी देखने के लिए कैमरामैन अनुराग के साथ कोमल।